Okay, when I say the name Cleopatra, what's the first thing that pops in your head? A legendary beauty, right? Maybe a femme fatale? For 2,000 years, her image has been shaped more by Hollywood and her enemies than by reality. But the real story, well, that's one of history's greatest unsolved puzzles. Today, we're going to peel back those layers of myth to find the truth. And trust me, the answers are not what you expect.
We're tackling the big questions right from the start. Let's begin with her identity. Was she even really Egyptian? And what about that famous face? Was she truly the stunning beauty that history remembers? The woman who seduced the most powerful men in the world?
And of course, there's her dramatic exit. The story of the snake is iconic, but is it the truth or is it a legend? Maybe one that's hiding a much darker reality. Let's investigate.
Okay, first up, let's talk about her most famous supposed asset, her legendary beauty. For centuries, this has been the absolute cornerstone of her entire myth.
We all know this version, don't we? The Hollywood queen, the icon of glamour played by stars like Elizabeth Taylor. This is the Cleopatra of our imagination, an image that's been burned into our minds by art and movies for generations. But was any of it real?
Well, this popular image might have started as a deliberate smear campaign. Think about it. To her Roman enemies, Cleopatra was a huge political threat. So what's the best way to undermine a powerful female leader? You paint her as a dangerous, exotic temptress. You claim her power came from seduction, not her incredible intelligence. It was brilliant propaganda, and it worked, effectively erasing her true strengths as a formidable ruler.
So if we ignore the propaganda, what's the actual evidence? Well, it pretty much comes down to one thing: the coins that were minted during her reign. As historian Kevin Butcher points out, these are the only confirmed, authentic portraits of Cleopatra we have. And let me tell you, they tell a very different story. The face on these coins is, well, it's severe, it's strong. It is not conventionally beautiful by our standards or even by ancient Roman standards. We see a prominent nose, sharp chin, thin lips. Actually, these strong features were probably a family trait. Coins with her father's face on them show a really similar profile. This wasn't the face of a seductress. This was the face of a ruler. This was the face of power.
So, if it wasn't her looks that captivated Julius Caesar and Mark Antony, what on earth was it? And this brings us to the true source of her power, her brilliant mind.
The reality is, Cleopatra was an absolute genius. Get this, she spoke at least 9 languages fluently. That meant she could talk to foreign leaders without needing an interpreter. And, crucially, she was the first ruler in her entire Greek-speaking dynasty to actually bother learning the language of the Egyptian people she ruled. On top of all that, she was a skilled military commander and a master diplomat.
So here's the key takeaway. Her relationships with Caesar and Antony weren't just passionate love affairs. No way. They were master classes in political strategy. By aligning herself with the most powerful men in the world, she secured her own throne, and for a while at least, kept Egypt from being completely swallowed up by the Roman Empire.
Her connection with a leader like Caesar wasn't just physical, it was a meeting of minds. They were intellectual equals who got each other on a level of power and strategy. Her real appeal wasn't a pretty face, it was a razor-sharp political brain that could go toe-to-toe with his. Her life was a master stroke of strategy, but her death is shrouded in mystery. So let's get into the final act of her incredible story. Everyone knows the legend, right? She's defeated, facing capture by the Romans, so she has a venomous snake, an asp, smuggled to her in a basket of figs. It's dramatic, it's poetic, it's a perfect ending.
But is it too perfect? The more historians and investigators look at it, the more holes start to appear in that story. You have to wonder, was this whole legend just a cover-up for something else entirely? There are some really compelling alternative theories. First off, assassination. Some investigators think the Roman leader Augustus, Caesar's heir, had her quietly murdered and made it look like a suicide. It was a clean way to remove a dangerous political rival. Another theory, a poisoned cocktail. A quick, reliable, and way less messy method than a snakebite, which by the way can be slow and isn't always fatal. And finally, even the ancient historian Plutarch admitted nobody knew the truth, and he floated the idea that she carried a toxin in a hollow pin hidden in her hair, which she could have used to poison herself discreetly.
So her death remains a mystery. And believe it or not, that mystery extends to her final resting place and the legacy she tried to build.
Think about this. For over 2,000 years, people have been searching, and yet the tomb of Cleopatra and Mark Antony has never been found.
It's incredible. The final resting place of one of the most famous women in history is completely lost. It just adds another layer to her whole enigma.
And what happened to her children? Honestly, this is maybe the most tragic part of the whole story. After she died, the Romans systematically erased her bloodline. Her oldest son, Caesarion, was executed. Her 2 younger sons with Antony, they just vanished from the history books. Poof, gone. Only her daughter survived, married off to a king, but her line was eventually extinguished too. It was a complete and brutal end to her dynasty.
So why, after 2 millennia, why are we still so captivated by her? Is it that clash between the myth and the reality? Is it the image of this brilliant woman totally holding her own in a world of powerful men? Or is it simply that all these unanswered questions about her face, her death, her lost tomb just make her story impossible to forget?
The real Cleopatra might be lost to history, but her story keeps us guessing. So now I want to hear from you. What do you think is the greatest mystery? The truth about her looks, her strategic genius, or what really happened in her final moments? Let me know your thoughts in the comments.